All right, welcome back. Um, this is, I guess, episode 4, 5. I don't remember. Not really counting. The first couple were just tests. I just realized how um, creaky this table is. Um, anyways, my name is Cameron. This is Diving Deeper, is kind of what I'm calling it right now. Doesn't feel very original, but it is what I was trying to call, or what I am calling, the life group that I have been wanting to do for some time. Still no hits. Again, I think that's because I have it set for 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, when most people are in church. So I don't blame anybody for not wanting to join. I am hoping, I've been really enjoying this, so I'm hoping to turn this into something that I do regularly, even if other people do want to do do a life group. I just started a new job, so my schedule's going to change up a little bit. I don't know how it's all going to shake out yet, but I am excited for this new chapter. So, anyways, I'm going to jump into the message here. So, today at Life Church, it's July 4th. I came on a Saturday because I have work tomorrow. And it is the launch week. It's the first week of the yearly series that they do called At the Movies, where Pastor Craig chooses a movie to use as kind of a parable for whatever the message is that he wants to get across to everybody. And I've always loved At the Movies. It's such a blast. As a huge movie guy myself, I always love anything that has to do with film. So it's been a blast over the years to watch what they've done. At the same time, all of the church lobbies, all of the Life Church locations, physical locations, completely transform their lobby. And I'm going to try to, I recorded a video that I'm now regretting that I recorded in portrait mode instead of landscape. But I'll try to put it on screen so you can kind of see this year. The location I went to is doing Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the animated film from a few years ago. And they did a great job. It looks so fun, and it really kind of does. It's a fun way to come to church. Growing up in a church that was very pastel colors and, not quite, Handmaid's Tale. But it's still pretty conservative. To go to a church that, has a giant spinning tornado in the lobby is, kind of a little bit of whiplash over the course of 20 something years. But today, Pastor Craig's message, he used the song or the movie, Song Sung Blue, starring Hugh Jackman. And I completely blanked on who the female lead is in that. And it is Kate Hudson. And they play a husband and wife, Neil Diamond tribute band thing. I had heard of the movie. I hadn't seen it. But the message that he was, that he wanted to get across, was, I don't even know how to put it into like exactly what, let me open, let me see here. I don't want to say that it didn't have a point, because he did have a point, but this is where my ADHD comes up against, other people's, ability to keep me, keep me focused, which is once again, 100% on me for not, for letting my mind wander, or at least get fixated on the wrong things, or, on something that how I can make this about me, that I've said before. But throughout the movie, like I said, is about this husband and wife. The husband is a recovering alcoholic. the beginning of the movie, he had been sober for 20 years. Um, and the woman that would become his wife, they end up getting married and becoming this Neil Diamond tribute band. And right when things are going great, the wife is out front of their house gardening when a car swerves off the road and runs into her from behind. And she ends up losing her leg below the knee, her left leg below the knee. And it sends her into a super deep depression. Their whole family at this point is just, they're feeling the weight of it. They're feeling the weight of her depression, in each of their own ways. And really at this point in the story, like the husband, Hugh Jackman's character, it gets her into, like inpatient therapy for a while. There's a lot of things that they end up going through that helps her, but it's not quite the catharsis. She calls it an emotional catharsis that she said she hadn't had yet. And at the same time, the husband is dealing with heart issues. I don't know if in the movie if that's being kept secret. Again, I haven't seen the movie. That's not part of the clips that they showed today in church. So, but one day, another car runs into their house in the exact same manner as the one that hit her and took her leg from her. And she just laughs at it. And everybody's looking at her like she's gone insane, which, frankly is a normal reaction to somebody laughing at that situation. But she uses it as a moment to decide, you know what, I'm going to go forward. I'm going to continue moving forward. Lightning can strike twice, is kind of one of the messages, in this. And, they end up getting back and having a major comeback, right before, the husband dies. And, I don't know, they mentioned earlier that it was heart issues. I don't know if it was a heart attack or I don't know the details of it. But it was very, obviously for a couple and a family that had gone through so much, to kind of get hit, again, right when things are looking up, that can be rough. And, the movie ends with, the wife, planting something in her garden, which is, she had kind of, I don't want to say neglected it, but at least in the clips that I had seen, it had been something that was like she hadn't touched in a very long time. And after his death, after they've gone through the grieving process, like she's like, I'm going to tackle this. I'm going to do this. And throughout the whole thing, it's Neil Diamond music, and it's fun and interesting. But for me, so there were a couple of phrases that he said that weren't exactly like notes. He didn't have it in his notes. It was just part of what he said. And I'm sure it was intentional. It's not like he's winging these sermons, but especially in this one, I don't know what the decision was, but it was pre-recorded. Instead of like being like him on stage in front of a crowd, in front of his congregation, it was pre-recorded. And I'm sure a lot of that has to do with copyright stuff. And I'm I don't know, but, there were things that he said that I wrote down. And, one of those things was, and there's a couple phrases that pretty much mean the same thing, but one of the things was, God takes what's broken and makes it sing. The other phrase that he said, where did I write it? God writes music with our mess. And that, like, those two are the most poignant things for me, at least. I'm not like, I don't think, obviously the whole message was great, but those two phrases, really hit home for me. because I feel like in my life, and in many people's lives, everything feels like it's a mess. Um, Especially when we try to do the thing that we never should, which is compare how we are doing versus somebody else. And, for many years, I have not been on social media. And I'm recently trying to get back into it a little bit for some business stuff and for just try to get my name out there a little bit more. And, it can be frustrating to deal with. But I feel, luckily for me, I don't have the doom scroll, bug, I guess. I can't sit on Facebook. I can't sit on Instagram, and just scroll through it. Because, I've never really enjoyed, that part of, social media. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit here, but the point I'm trying to make is when you're on social media, it can feel like you're not doing enough, that you haven't become enough, that you're not successful. And a lot of that has to do with you're watching other people's highlight reel. Nobody is going on there and genuinely posting their struggles. There are people who are going to go on there and post fake or dramatic things for attention. There's going to be people who go on there and who do post legitimate things about health issues or whatnot. And I'm not trying to say that those people are fake or dramatic or anything like that. But nobody's going on there and going, I'm struggling with X. I'm dealing with Y. That's not something that's going to happen all that often. People are posting pictures of the food they're eating, of the trips they've gone on, of the celebrities that they've run into, of X, Y, Z, whatever. And when you're sitting at home in your pajamas or whatever, scrolling through and you're seeing all these people in their highlight reels on their best days, and you're just existing, it can feel incredibly isolating, and you can feel so confined to your own world that it becomes difficult to see past it. And it feels like it makes you feel worse, because even if things aren't going terrible, you're not at that high. You're not at that peak. So going from watching somebody on their best days to just looking at yourself in the mirror, it can feel like your life is a mess. It can feel like your life is just terrible, or it's not enough. And for me, the phrase, God writes music with our mess. You can't have good music without dissonance, without tension, without sadness, without melancholy. If you listen to music and it's just high energy song after song after song, it's going to feel boring after a while. You need those swells. You need those emotional moments, those tense moments. Cause that's what gives you that release, when a chord progression or when music has tension and dissonance, and then it resolves into that triumphant or successful or happy or whatever feeling, that makes that moment so much more impactful to the listener. And to me, that is very much where a lot of this is you can stop looking at Facebook as or Instagram or whatever as a place to compare yourself. Man, I don't even know. Like, I feel like it's so hard to articulate this. It's almost like Pastor Craig has, 30 some odd years of experience and a team behind him to help him do everything. To me, it's just, yes, your life is a mess. My life is a mess. Everybody's life is a mess. But that doesn't mean it can't be beautiful. That doesn't mean God can't do something with it and give you that emotional catharsis, that spiritual catharsis of going, yeah, I'm in this mess. but God's going to use this somehow. God's going to use me somehow. And that's really, I feel today was extra rambly. That's my ADHD kicking in. But that's really what I got from the message, is, really, God writes music with our mess. Another phrase he wrote, is, our song is never about the stage. To a lesser extent, like to me, it's never been about performing, which, talk about music. That's one of the lyrics of the songs that we sing at church all the time. But it's never been about performing for others. It's been about the relationship with God. And I very much am at a point in my life where, I was so convinced that the way that my faith and the way that I I don't know what to say, practiced, because I feel like it is practice, but it's the way that I've gone about my faith has been pretty arrogant. Not so much in that I'm like, this is the way things are, this is the way things really are, and I'm gonna like a theological differences or anything like that, but just for a long time I didn't go to church. I believed, and I'd read my Bible every now and then, and I'd do my Bible studies and listen to some praise and worship every now and then. But it was always kind of a passive faith. And in the last year, I felt myself really branch out into a more genuine faith. I still struggle with some things. I talked about last week how reverence is something that we do really well at the church level, but we don't really do joy all that well. And I really want to see churches lean into the joy more. We're so on the edge of having some awesome joy at the church. But I really, for me, I want, by going to church weekly, by doing this, by, getting into the word more often, which I still need to do more, I need to journal more. I need to pray more. I need to meditate more. Everybody needs to do all these things more. That's what you always hear. But for me, it has, in just increasing my exposure to faith, more than in the past years, has paid off in dividends, that I never would have been able to, articulate, more than a year ago. And I feel like my life was definitely a mess a year ago. Like I said, I feel like it still is, but I definitely I definitely feel like things are moving in a much better direction. This is when the steam starts coming out, or I'm running out of steam. That's the phrase I'm looking for. Not that I don't have anything else to talk about, but I'm, I don't know. I definitely want to continue this. I definitely want to dive deeper. I'm thinking about doing more of these, throughout the week, not even on church stuff, just on whatever I'm doing that week or whatever I'm watching or reading or whatever. This one has felt I felt like I've been ricocheting off the walls, on this one. I'll end it with this. Go check out At the Movies, this week. There's 4 weeks of this. I am, curious, as to what you guys are thinking on this. I say you guys, I think I'm averaging like 8 views on this, and I think 6 of those are my parents watching it in piecemeal throughout the week. But anyways, if anybody watches this, if anybody sees it and it feels curious, just check out Life Church, check out your local church, whatever. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll be here next week to talk about At the Movies week 2. So thank you, and toodles.